My next guest tonight, she's hailing straight from Westchester, so let's give an up-late welcome for the lovely and the charming Tara Cannistraci.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Johnny mentioned I came from Westchester. I'm originally a Bronx girl. So we got the Bronx in the house, definitely. I came from the Bronx tonight. It was a really quick flight to get here. Are we still in New York? Is Staten Island still? I know, I'm gonna go there. No, I gotta be honest. Clap it up if you're from Staten Island. Absolutely. It feels good to be in New York. I'm traveling all the time now. I'm in Canada every month performing. And I gotta be honest, those Canadians, so much nicer than you guys, right? Like that stereotype is so true. But I realize there is nothing like a New York audience. Right? Clap it up for yourself. You don't realize how special we are, you know? We hear things, we perceive things differently than they do anywhere else in the world, right? I see you shaking your head. Yes, absolutely. I was in Canada last week and I went to a store. The kid behind the counter was like, you can get 15% off your purchase if you sign up. I said, okay. He said, what's your first name? Tara. What's your last name? Cannistraci. What's your street name? I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes my friends call me T-Money. I'm like, what do you want to know my street name for? He's like, I meant which street do you live on? So it feels good to be in Staten Island with people who get me, right? I'm an Italian. We have Italian women here. Oh, Italian women, be honest, we're so different, right? Than white women. Right. My best friend is this girl, Kimberly. She's a white girl. She's from Virginia. You know, Kim is so white, her nana lives in another state. Right? I was like, I didn't know your grandmother could live anywhere but your basement. Right? I'm like, she lives in D.C., and whose basement is this woman living in? But, no, Kim is so white. She called me last weekend, hysterical crying, because her boyfriend never came home. I'm like, go online and track his cell phone. Right? Because that's what Italian and Spanish women do. Right. She went online. She tracked the phone. She found it 25 minutes away from the bar he was at a hotel. And the next words out of her mouth were, I hope he's okay. I was like, I hope he's lying in a pool of his own blood, right? I'm Italian. I don't play. Where are my Italian men? I know we have Italian men here at Johnny P Show, right? I gotta be honest, I'm an Italian, but I never dated Italian guys. You know, because I like to speak for myself. You guys like impressions? I'll do an impression of what it's like being on a date with an Italian guy, right? He's like, how do you like that steak? It's great, right? Have you ever had wine like this before? Never. I'm like, who the fuck is he talking to? I haven't said anything yet, right? He's like, I bet you don't even know about this place till I took you here. I know. You're welcome. I mean, borough people are my people. But you can't run into an Italian guy from a borough because that man is having a conversation all by himself, right? You know this guy, you see him on the avenue, right? He's like, hey, how are you? Good? How's everything, all right? How's your mom? Good? Give him my regards. He's like, do you remember? Forget about it. I know you do. It was good seeing you. I'll see you soon, all right? Promise, you promise. At one point, and I don't want to insult my own people, at one point I was like, I can't even date a professional Italian guy. I was getting hooked up with a chiropractor, right? His name was Dr. Bello. Right? For this joke, pretend that chiropractors are real doctors. Dr. Bello, right? I go on his website, because that's what we do. We look them up, right? And on his website, it said, Dr. Joey Bello. I'm like, there are no professional Joeys. Right? Think back. What was the Russian dictator's name? Right? Joey? Stalin? No? You're in Staten Island. You guys shopping at Trader Joey's? Like, is that? I'm like my little Italian grandmother in all her years never cried out, Jesus, a Mary and a Joey. And he was just a carpenter. For my few Catholics here. No, I never dated an Italian guy, but I always wanted to sleep with one. Right? Yeah, just so I could be like, how's this feel? Great, right? Have you ever had it like this before? Never. I bet you want to get me pregnant. I know you want to marry me. Promise, you promised. Just I don't know why I was on top the whole time. That's a misrepresentation, but I'm tired. I said the only Italian man I'm ever going to love in my life is my father. Right? I'm a daddy's little girl, you know? And in 2020, he celebrates, I'll say it on TV, he celebrates 14 years sober. Thank you. Thank you. So proud. He even told me, he said, Tara, the hardest part about getting sober was having to tell you that I was an alcoholic. Right? I was like, oh my God, Dad. I knew. I totally knew, right? Like leaving for school in the morning, none of the other kids' dads were sleeping on the lawn. In my childhood videos, it looked like him and I were learning how to walk at the same time. Right? Daddy's first steps. Now they're at 12. That side of the room are the addicts. And you. Okay. I like to identify. Actually, I got engaged to an Italian guy in January, so. Okay. You applaud like you know my mother. She's thrilled. Too bad. Johnny. I like when Johnny heckles me. It's good. No, I got engaged downtown at the Friars Club. If you guys don't know it, it's a huge entertainment club in New York City. It's world-renowned. I mean, Frank Sinatra played there, Dean Martin, Carol Burnett. You walk in there and it's majestic, you know, wood floors, and I had a show down there. So I walk in, they greet me. They said, all right, Tara, you're up next to perform in the Milton Berle room. So excited. Right? I walk in, and the room is completely empty. And there he was, down on one knee with roses. Right, I know. He's like, will you marry me? Right? I'm like, oh my God, I'm not performing tonight. Like I was a little disappointed, you know, but it's good. I'll leave you guys with this. I'm watching the news a lot lately, and they just said the only way we're going to fix prisons is if we fix schools. Right? You know, makes sense when you think about it, right? Like teach them right, and then they won't end up in jail. Right, we have teachers in the house tonight? Any teachers? Good, let's talk about them. Teachers, and my idea of this is schools are already like prisons. Right, teachers talk to each other like they're inmates. Have you ever heard of teachers are like, how much time have you done? How many more years till you're out? Right, a new teacher comes in, they're like, the first year's rough, but then you get used to it. Right, don't drop the chalk. Everyone in the school is like a prisoner. Your kids, right? They have meals on paper trays. They have lockdowns now, right? They go out in the yard for an hour a day. And then there's the sodomy, you know. Oh no, just Catholic schools? All right, guys. Or if there's a wrestling team. That was where I went too much? Was that too much? All right, guys, you've been great. Thank you so much. I'm Tara Cannistraci. You can find me on tarajokes.com.
All right, Tara Cannistraci. What a beautiful, great talent.